Okay, let's start with a scenario for you.
Yeah.
Imagine you've accepted a dinner invitation.
The kind of invitation you're really looking forward to.
Exactly. The table is just groaning with food, the smells are incredible, and you are ready to eat. But then there's this pause.
Mm-hmm.
And just before you reach for anything, you realize there's a mandatory, a nonverbal rule in play.
A kind of cultural contract?
Yes, a contract.
Yeah.
You have to perform a specific action, a gesture, just to, well, validate your right to even touch the food.
And that single moment, that sudden shift in what's expected, is really the entire focus of our deep dive today.
Right.
We're looking at a really fascinating stack of material on global dining etiquette, specifically these unique, sometimes profound rituals people perform to show thanks before they eat.
And our mission here isn't just to, list these customs, is to get at the deep societal pressure they represent. What is the fundamental message being sent through these pre-meal acts?
We're digging for that surprising insight buried in the formality. And our sources point us to a remarkable place to start, a specific custom from Nigerian culture.
Okay.
It's a pre-meal ritual that doesn't just ask for gratitude, it actually demands a physical performance. It's known simply as the respect dance.
Okay, the respect dance. Let's just unpack that right away. The very idea that you can't just sit down and eat, that you must do something physical first, that completely reframes the whole host-guest relationship.
It really does. In many cultures, especially Western ones, dining is pretty linear. You arrive, you sit, you chat, you eat.
Right.
But this Nigerian custom inserts a kind of essential checkpoint. The sources are clear that guests have to take part in this physical act. It's not an optional nice to have.
So it's a prerequisite. It's literally the key that unlocks the meal.
That's a perfect way to put it.
So let's focus on this dance. The name itself, respect dance, sounds, I don't know, a bit formal, maybe even complicated, makes you think of choreography. But what is this gesture actually like?
And that's where the sources give us some really helpful context. They describe it as a simple movement.
Oh, simple.
Yes, it's not about theatrical flair or, being a good dancer. The point is the intentionality behind it. It's a formalized, very brief physical routine that's meant to signal the guest's state of mind.
So its meaning is purely functional and it's a communication tool.
Precisely. The sources make it explicit. This is done as an act of profound deference and appreciation for the host. It's respect made visible.
I see. So if the host's job is to provide this generous meal, the guest's job is to provide this visible, required performance of thanks.
Exactly. And the initial reaction most people have when they learn about this is kind of a dual one. It feels, both strange and gentle at the same time.
Strange and gentle. How so?
Strange because it breaks our assumption that you just get to eat, but gentle because its whole purpose is rooted in this formal declaration of, peace and appreciation.
It definitely sets a high cultural bar for what politeness looks like, which, of course, leads to the big question. Why a dance? Why this physical movement? Why isn't a sincere verbal, thank you so much for having me, enough?
And that's where we get into the deeper layer of analysis. We have to understand that in this culture, the dance is fundamentally a performative language of thanks.
A language.
Yes, it communicates to the host in a way that just words can't, that the guests are truly mindful and appreciative of the enormous effort and generosity that went into the meal.
So you're saying it raises the stakes of gratitude. I mean, a verbal thank you is easy, it's quick, you can say it while you're already sitting down. But a physical action that requires your full attention, a moment of humility even.
Exactly. It's an investment of energy. The sources really emphasize that this physical action serves as an authentic expression of joy and genuine appreciation. It's moving beyond abstract words into something tangible.
I mean, that makes sense when you think about the cultural role of dance.
It does. For centuries, dance hasn't just been for fun, right? It's been for ritual, for bonding, for celebrating a harvest, for honoring leadership.
So they're tapping into that established cultural medium to convey respect in a way that's irrefutable. It's like saying, I value your efforts so much, I'm willing to spend my own physical energy to honor it.
And that idea of reciprocal effort is absolutely key. The host puts in huge physical and financial effort. The guest's simple movement or dance, it kind of mirrors that. It brings a balance to this social contract.
It's a physical sign that you're worthy of receiving that generosity.
Yes. And it also completely shifts the focus of the event itself. This ritual makes the act of eating so much more meaningful. It elevates the meal from just, sustenance.
To an event rooted in social connection and this mandated acknowledgement. The food isn't just served, it has to be formally accepted.
It creates a sacred pause, you could say. Before the biological need for food kicks in, the social need for harmony and recognition has to be satisfied.
Okay, but this is starting to sound less like a polite custom and more like a required step in a formal process. So if the dance is a foundational requirement, what happens if it's not met? This is where the consequences really tell the story. Let's talk about the stakes.
This is, I think, the most illuminating part of it all, because what happens when it's omitted reveals the true weight of the action.
Hmm.
If a guest fails to perform this respect dance, it's not seen as just a simple social blunder like using the wrong fork.
Like, no.
No, it is interpreted as a profound lack of appreciation.
How profound are we talking?
Yeah.
What are the actual repercussions?
The sources are very clear on this. Failing to do the dance means the guest is seen as not having valued the host's immense hard work and dedication. Think about that difference for a second. In many cultures, if you forget to say thank you, you're considered rude.
Sure, you're rude.
Here, if you fail to perform the required action, you have fundamentally undermined the host's entire effort. It's a slight against their character, their generosity.
That is a staggering consequence for an omission. It suggests that the culture equates the physical performance of thanks with the existence of the appreciation itself.
That's it. No movement, no gratitude. It doesn't matter what you might be thinking or feeling inside.
Wow.
And it really shows us, we often assume gratitude is this universal concept, but this proves that the dialects of gratitude are completely different.
Dialects of gratitude. I like
In a Western context, for example, we often prioritize the verbal. The word is the key. But in this Nigerian context, gratitude is codified into a mandatory physical action. You can't just substitute it with an easy word. The body has to speak first.
So put yourself in the shoes of a visitor. Maybe you're shy, or you're just totally unaware of this rule. You think you're being a great guest. You're smiling. You've complimented the host on everything.
You think you've shown maximum appreciation.
Exactly. But because you missed this one simple nonverbal performance, you have, without realizing it, committed a massive offense.
Your intention means very little when it clashes with a codified cultural behavior like this. It reveals that respect isn't just a feeling, it's a demonstration that's defined by these very specific local mandates.
If you don't know the practice, you can't satisfy the requirement.
And your status as an honored guest is immediately, well, it's put into question, if not revoked.
It just highlights how delicate navigating social situations can be. For you, the listener, this shows how quickly assumptions can be made about your character when you cross these cultural lines. You might be the most grateful person in the room.
But without that physical affirmation, you are officially deemed ungrateful. It's fascinating. And this whole mechanism, it really serves as a kind of gatekeeper.
A gatekeeper.
It ensures that every single guest who sits down to eat has first acknowledged the social hierarchy and the specific terms of the generosity being offered. It's a filter for humility.
And failing to perform the dance is a failure to participate in that community contract.
That's right. It's a powerful lesson that culture is what determines what's weighted and what's trivial. And in this dining context, this simple dance is the exact opposite of trivial.
It's the essential social key. It's the moment the guest moves from being just an observer to being a fully vested participant in this reciprocal exchange.
And all that weight is placed on the action because it ensures a kind of authenticity. Anyone can mumble a quick thank you, right? But performing a designated physical action that requires a moment of focus, of exposure, of compliance.
It confirms the guest is truly present and respectful of the occasion.
Not just focused on filling their stomach.
So, to synthesize all this, our deep dive into the mandatory performance of deference. The Nigerian respect dance really illustrates just how crucial and weighty these pre-meal rituals can be.
They're non-negotiable social contracts. They're contracts of gratitude that have to be fulfilled before consumption can even begin.
And this brings us back to a really core truth from our source material. Every community has its own highly specific way of declaring thanks.
Every group of people has their own way of saying thank you, but those methods are often wrapped in these invisible rules that really define what respect looks like.
The lesson here, then, is that you can't just assume cultural currency. A verbal thank you might work in one place, but that doesn't mean it's accepted as sufficient everywhere else.
You have to learn to read the signs, the situations that prioritize action over words.
So as we wrap up, we want to leave you with a thought. Reflect on your own cultural environment. Think about the small, maybe seemingly trivial social customs you perform every single day.
And not just at the dinner table, it could be how you greet a superior at work, the specific way you hand someone a business card, or even the prescribed way you're supposed to enter someone's home.
What are the seemingly small required actions in your own life that, if you just didn't do them, would be seen by everyone around you as a major slight, a profound lack of appreciation?
We all live by these invisible mandatory acts. So, what is the required movement, the specific choreography of respect that defines your own daily social contract?
Think about what your culture's unwritten respect dance is, and what the penalty is for failing to perform it.
When you start to see it that way, you realize just how deep our own social conditioning really goes.